interview. First and foremost, great job. I know how exciting it is to get that email, to set that appointment, that they want to talk to you, that you could be potentially talking to your future employers, your future coworkers. It is such an awesome feeling, but it's also a little anxiety provoking. I get that because I've been through it. My name's Ashley. I'm a 911 dispatcher out in California, and I created this channel to help the aspiring dispatcher through the application process, and that includes the interview. You know, I may need a better. This is okay. I look good. Don't get it wrong. But let's see if we can do a little better for the purpose of this video. This video is all about preparing for your interview. Look good, feel prepared. This video was created for you, so you could practice answering questions you may come across during your panel interview. Now, the way the first half of this video is going to be set up is I am going to be asking you the interview questions. All you need to do is pause the video after that question is asked and practice giving your answer. I know, it's a little weird to be by yourself talking to a screen. I'm doing it right now. So I get it. It's gonna feel weird, it's gonna be awkward for you, but no, that's okay. All you're doing is running through how you would respond during your real interview, so when you do have that interview, you've already said this stuff. The second half of the video is gonna be me giving sample answers to these questions. Now again, these are sample answers, not answers you should take and say are yours. It's important that you are putting some thought into this. Use my sample answers as foundation to create your own. It'll go a long way. All right, that's better. You can grab more tips and tricks to help you prepare for your panel interview by grabbing our Winning Over the Panel workbook at theraspydispatcher.com. This workbook includes 50 sample interview questions, 10 sample answers, and more tips and tricks to help along the way. So grab yours today at theraspydispatcher.com. So let's go ahead and get started with the first half of this video. Questions that you may be asked at your panel interview. Remember, pause after each question and give a sample answer. Here are the 5 questions. What advice would you offer for helping a colleague calm down after taking a difficult call? Good job. Now remember, we go over the S.T.A.R method in another one of our videos. The situation expressed here is helping a colleague manage a stressful call. The task that you are addressing with your answer is offering that colleague guidance and tools for coping after a stressful call. Can you recall a situation where you had to make a decision and your supervisor wasn't present? The situation that is being described in this question is having to manage a situation without a supervisor in sight to assist. The task that you are trying to effectively accomplish with answering this question is managing a customer issue effectively and within policy without the direction of your supervisor. Question 3. Can you describe handling multiple assignments of high priority simultaneously? So the situation is describing from your personal experience working in your regular life, handling multiple situations of high priority at the same time. The task you have with answering this question is showing the panelists how you effectively handled multiple high priority situations simultaneously, ensuring safety, following policy, and making sure what needed to be handled was done so in the correct order. Question 4. Tell us what you've discovered about our department. The situation is, I conducted research in preparation for this interview. The task you are trying to accomplish with answering this question is showing your panelists that you did in fact do a little research about the department you are applying for. Question 5. You're a dispatcher. You receive a 911 call where you can hear faint talking in the background, but no one is answering your questions. What actions would you take? So the situation is as the question describes. You received a 911 call. You can hear someone talking but don't know what's going on and no one's responding you. The task at hand that you're trying to articulate to the panelist is what you would reasonably think a dispatcher would do in this situation. Mind you, you haven't received any training. You obviously would slip something in there about following policy, but what reasonably would you do, would you think a dispatcher would do if this happened during their shift? You made that mock interview look easy. And I know what you're thinking, that I tell that to everybody who watches this video. And I do, but I know it's true with you. Look, you're taking the first step in preparing for the interview, for the job. It's a difficult one. It's stressful, it's time consuming, but it's worth it. And I am so happy that you're taking this first step. In the second half of this video, I will be giving you sample answers that you can use to help prepare your answers for your panel interview. Now remember, they're just sample answers. Don't take my answers. Use them to build and create your own so you can answer with confidence from your own lived experiences. I understand how important it is to be able to de-stress in a stressful situation in our everyday lives as well as a dispatcher, like the situation of taking a tough call. I would ask my coworker to take some time away from the environment that we're in order to decompress, find a quiet room to ensure some privacy, as well as reducing the amount of distractions that might come in. Once we find the perfect place, I'm gonna give my coworker the floor. I'm gonna let them tell me what's going on, what they experienced, what they're feeling. I'm gonna be a presence, no judgment, just a listening ear. After they tell me about how they're feeling, I would suggest some deep breath exercises, or maybe even taking a walk outside, getting some fresh air. These are things that have worked for me in the past, and I hope that they could work for them. By being someone who listens and providing some tools that have worked for me, I am not only helping my colleague in that moment, but in the future. When they take another tough call, maybe they'll remember these deep breathing exercises, or going and taking a walk help them today and will help them in the future. You know, sometimes a supervisor may not be in the room when you have a question and you need to fall back on company policy and training. In my previous role in customer service, I received a call from a client, from a customer who was upset, and they had some issues with the product they ordered and being delivered in a timely manner, which caused some frustration. I knew I needed to address the issue promptly and in a timely manner, and my supervisor was nowhere to be found. So I started with validating the customer's experience. It didn't feel good to buy this thing and not get it when they thought they were going to get it. I hear that. I've been there, and I made sure they knew that. After that, I was able to review our company policies, and I determined that expedited shipping in this situation was more than warranted, and more importantly, fell within our policy. The customer was happy with the prompt response, and the supervisor was happy that I was able to handle this within policy without needing them in the room. Yes, I can. One specific scenario I can remember involved supervising a group of children when I worked at a daycare. I was supervising the children during their outdoor playtime while preparing their snacks, and during all that, there was one child with a minor injury that needed some assistance. My task is first and foremost always to ensure the safety of the children that I'm caring for. I was able to divide my attention and responsibilities accordingly. I ensured that the injured child received the first aid that they needed immediately, and I notified the parent as required of our reporting system at the time. Simultaneously, I was still able to provide exceptional supervision to the other kids in my care, as well as get the snacks prepared on time, because we know when we get a little hangry, things can escalate. The results of this were a safe and well organized environment, even amidst a little bit of chaos. I began researching this department by visiting your guys' website. I reviewed the mission statement, the organizational structure, and I even took a look at a few of the annual reports you had published for crime in the area and call volume. I paid close attention to this department's commitment to serving the community and ensuring public safety. Through this research, I have discovered that this department's values align greatly with my personal values, and I know I would be a good fit here. If I received a 911 call where I heard people on the line but couldn't get someone to answer my questions, I would always fall back on my training first and foremost. Without that knowledge at this very moment, I think what I would do was I would first check if the line is still open, still actively trying to get someone to acknowledge me raising them. Hello, you dialed 911. Does anyone need help? Is there an emergency? I would then begin looking at my system and seeing if we have a good understanding of where the call is coming from. Is it a cell phone calling in? Is it a landline calling in? Possibly, do we have any history with the cell phone? Or history at the address where the cell phone's mapping near. I would be doing all of this while continuing to try to get someone to come to the line. If the policy at my department advised for me to create a call to send officers out to check the area, I would do so. But I would keep the line open as long as I am allowed to and am capable of, while I continue to try to get someone on the line. Open lines are challenging and a bit frustrating, but I believe by taking these steps, I would feel good about that call and the results that come with it. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and grab your copy of our Winning Over the Panel workbook at theraspydispatcher.com. Good luck in the rest of your process. Stay raspy, everybody.